Hello, everybody. Andrea Twarowski here again. Thank you so much for coming on to watch this video, because if you haven't noticed already, I love to talk, and I love to talk to young people who want to start their own business online. Because you know what? Now is the time to do it more than ever, because things are a lot more easier to access than things ever used to be before. You know, when I started my business at age 19, a while ago, it was common that not everybody had a computer in their home. Not everybody had a laptop. In fact, hardly anybody had one because things were so expensive. If you were a student, you were lucky to have a laptop. Nowadays, I don't know a student that doesn't have a laptop, because that's just what's the norm, and that's what they need to attend classes, college, university, whatever it may be. So things have changed a lot. So having that said, it's more common for people to also be thinking, well, I don't want to work 9 to 5. I don't want to work 9 to 6 and have to wake up at 8 a.m. every morning, or have to wake up at 5:30 to work at 8 because it takes me a half an hour to get to work because they can't find a job close to home. So people don't want to do that nowadays, or they just have so many plans, they have so many ideas that they don't know what they want to do. Or they may know what they want to do, but they don't want to spend $40,000 a year to go to university to do that. So they may be thinking about other things and have other plans of things that they may want to do. So what I've noticed is when I talk to young people who are awesome, they are motivated, they know they want to do something online, but they don't know how to get started. And this is a common problem that people have. And it is a problem, because if you don't get started, how do you expect to make money? How do you expect to make a name for yourself if you don't get started? How do you expect to get out there and for people to know who you are if you don't get started? I mean, take me. When I was 19, I knew that I wanted to teach. I knew that I wanted to teach dental assisting students how to pass the board exam. And I could do this because I was a dental assistant who did pass the board exam, but not everybody passes it. So I knew that I had a knack for knowing what to study, how to study, and there are just some people out there that don't know how, they don't know, or they don't realize that they don't have to spend 10 hours every day studying for a big test in order to pass. Plus, if you don't pass the board exam, you have to pay several $100s to retake it. So yes, at least you get that chance to retake it and then hopefully pass the board exam to become a dental assistant, but you only have about 3 tries, and you have to pay again each time. So for a student, you probably don't have a couple $100s to spend each time. You don't have the time to study each time, and you don't want to take the board exam again because you worked so hard in school, you feel that that should be enough, but it's not. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to teach, but I didn't want to go back to school to be a teacher or to have that certificate that tells me that I can teach dental assisting students in a classroom setting. So I thought, well, why don't I just start my own thing? So anything you want to do, anything you're passionate about, you can start your own thing. It may be harder or it may be super easy, right? But for tutoring, for teaching, that is one of the easiest things that you can do, because the startup costs are nothing, but we'll talk more about that later. But you do have startup costs, but a lot of them, you can do it for free. Like for a quick example, to make a website, you can make your own for free. You just have to know how to look. You need to make your own images for the website. You can do that for free if you know how and where to look. You can make your own email newsletter to send out to people to talk about your products and services for free, but you have to know how and where to look. And that's where I come in. I help newbie young people who want to start their own business but don't necessarily have the money to spend thousands to start their own business, especially if they feel their idea may not be the best idea and may not work. So I help with everything. I help to tell you, well, is your idea actually going to work? Or you may have a good starting off point for an idea, but you're not quite there yet. So that's where I help you. This is what I do, and this is what I love to do. But okay, so back on track. Let's start with square one, okay? So my tutoring, this is the idea that I have. So think of whatever you're passionate about, whatever you want to do, write that down. So I would say that I want to teach dental assisting students. That is what I want to do. But then you have to think how, okay? So am I going to teach them in person? Let's say that was my idea. Now I have to think, well, how am I going to get to that person? Am I going to teach them at their house or at my house? Or am I going to teach them at a public library, a public building of some kind? You know, how is this going to work? So you need to work out every single thing to the specifics as much as possible. Then let's say I thought, well, I don't really want to be traveling so much because that wastes money in gas or in transportation, because at the time I didn't have my own car. And then I'd have to think, well, okay, I'm working full time. So the only time that I could see somebody in person would be the evenings. Am I going to have the energy for that? Honestly, no. But if that's kind of the only option that I had at the time, then you know what, you make the energy for it. But then you kind of have to figure out, well, is it better if you do it instead on the weekends where you will have the energy to do it? But okay, so that's why I thought, no, I kind of want to tutor online because I can do it from the comfort of my own home, and I can tutor more than one person at a time. So let's say a group of students wanted to learn about pharmacology, okay, because that is a subject that I teach within the dental assisting and the dental hygiene topics, right? So let's say I had a group of people sign up to learn pharmacology. I could sign up and I could host a webinar online on pharmacology for 2 hours, and whoever wants to sign up for that can for a certain price. So you see how my idea went from tutoring to actually thinking about, okay, how and when am I going to tutor? I could do it in person or online. Those are the two options. I didn't want to do it in person, so I went for the tutoring online. So this is what you have to think about for your idea. You need to get specific in how you're going to do it. And it doesn't have to be teaching something. It could be, let's say you have an idea to write an ebook, or let's say you want to create a video series on teaching people how to eat healthy. Let's say you're a college student who wants to teach college students how to make healthy meals that aren't expensive, but showing them exactly how to do it. You know, like I'm just kind of coming up with some ideas here. So think about the specifics. Do you want to do a video? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to host online classes? Do you want to write a blog? Now, I do a little bit of everything, but again, that comes more later. Let's kind of start with the easy stuff first. Okay, so pick something and then go with that. It doesn't hurt to have thousands of ideas because I have thousands all the time. But pick one to start, work on that, make it amazing, make the money, and then you can work on another idea from there, okay? So that's kind of how my tutoring came into play. But then you have to think, okay, I'm talking about hosting a webinar online. Do I know how to do that? So you have to think to yourself, okay, how do I host a webinar online? Another secret for you, you can do it for free if you know how to look. So if you haven't checked out my newest ebook yet, you should. I will post the link at the bottom of this video, but it is called Young Business, and it is a guide for helping people in their 20s or 30s even, how to start their business online. And I show you exactly the tools I use. And I show you the free ones also, because I still use a lot of tools for free. Even the tools that I do pay for, they have a free version as well that most people don't know about, but I can help you because I have that special link for you, because I want to help people start their own business online, but it doesn't have to be expensive, especially when you're not making money initially. So I show everybody how to start their own business for free. So please, if you haven't, buy that book. It is so helpful. It's $4.99 this month. $4.99 this month. That's it. So that's $5. Anybody can or should, you know, be able to afford $5, right? So instead of buying your coffee, buy the book, because I teach you guys everything, and it's a nice thing to read at night too, and it will get you motivated. It will get you even more excited than you already are. So, okay, so again, back on track. So we were talking about getting started. So you have to come up with your ideas. Pick something first and go from there. So any idea that you have now, I can tell you right now, you will need a website. So let's start there. Let's start simple. Make a website, because even before you have a product, even before you have a service, even before you decide to make your email newsletter to reach more people, even before you have a Facebook page, anything, I suggest having a website, and you can have one for free. So the product that I like to use is Weebly, and they don't pay me to say this. So I have been using them since I started, so age 19. But you can sign up for their free website first. I believe it's a certain number of pages you can have, but so what? Because all you really need is one, maybe 2 pages initially, a homepage and a contact page. Easy. So try them first. So it is weebly.com. Try them. Sign up for the free version and just have fun with it. They have templates. Make your own website to start. Have fun with it. In fact, it will probably take you hours initially because it's something new for you. Every time I make a website, it might take me an hour or 2 at the most to make a whole thing. But since you're new at this, it will probably take you, you know, to make 1 page an hour or 2, because there's lots of things to look at. And it's so easy to use. Like if you want your title on the main page up at the top, you click title and move it over. Easy. If you want text under the title, you click to the left-hand side text and move it over. If you want a picture, same thing. Click image, move it over. If you want a contact form, click, move it over. It's very, very simple to use. I still use it. I started age 19. I'm almost 31 now. I'm still using the same program. Now, I do pay for mine because I have a lot of pages, trust me, but I think I pay about $30 a year, you guys. That's it. It's insane. It's cheap. I could pay for another software and pay $300 a year, but I don't need anything fancy. I don't need anything special, and that's how I keep my costs to a minimum. But again, more about that later too. I will stop this video for now because I want you guys to focus on one thing, and as you can tell, it's even hard for me to focus on one thing because I have so many ideas, so many thoughts that I want to get out there for you. But stay tuned for the next video because we will be talking about even more exciting things then. But until you watch, or wait to watch the next video until you make a website, or at least have a look at how, because it will help you with everything. With everything else that I'm about to teach you. So please have a look at Weebly.com. That's Weebly, and I do have the link on the bottom of this also. But please have a look at that. Make a website, but even before you do that, have a look at the book that I was talking about called Young Business. It's $4.99. That's it. I have the link on the bottom here too, and it will help you sort of follow along also what I'm talking about. So even after the video, if you're excited, if you're motivated and saying to yourself, well, I want to do more. Like Andrea has helped me so much. I want to do more. How? Follow along in the book. It will be so helpful to you. Okay, so I will stop the video and stay tuned for the next one. And good luck. If you need anything, let me know.